Hi, this instructional video is all about naming, measuring, and drawing angles. It's all about angles. And to understand this concept of naming and measuring and drawing the angles, you will need a compass and a protractor, and of course a pen or a pencil. So let's talk about some of the angles. For example, one of the angles, well, you all know that angle is made up of two rays, where these two rays that has a common endpoint. And when two rays are connected at an endpoint, this endpoint is now then called a vertex. So the angle ABC, let's suppose this is A, this vertex is B, and another point on this side of the ray is a C. If the angle ABC is formed, then the vertex is the point B. And of course, when we have two rays that are connected at an endpoint called a vertex, then we have two different sides. And something interesting, the angle that is formed by the points A, B, and C can also be named CA. So CBA, or you could just simply say angle B. Now, how do you measure this angle? So let's talk about that. So it is a skill that we assume that all students know, but sometimes it is one concept that they miss out on for some reason. So let me show you. For example, here is a ray. So let's create another ray, and to determine that for teachers, what we do is, see that little line right there? The little dash right there under the number 2, and this vertical line? Well, that point is a perpendicular. Interestingly enough, that's a symbol for a perpendicular line. Well, right there is the pivot point. That right there is going to be where the vertex will be. And then from that, so that's going to be a 0. And then let's make this into a 40-degree angle right there. So right there. And I'm going to draw that to the pivot point. I'm not going to go all the way over so it doesn't intrude onto this object. And that right there then becomes 40 degrees. And if I were to give you this and say, can you measure that? Well, then you will have to take that pivot point right there, the perpendicular point of this protractor, and put that where the vertex is right there. See that? Watch, slow motion, right there. And line up the baseline right there to extend all the way out to this point right there. You see that? Right there? See that? To the pivot point. And then you go, where does that go all the way to? What do you know? To the 40 degrees. And that's how you tell. So if you were to do this one, to determine this degrees, you'll go right here. Put that pivot point right there, where the B is, and line up the base of this protractor right there. Make sure it extends out to the 0 right there. So where would that go to? Whoa, what do you know? Very close to another 40. It's more like 39, 38, but it looks like it's going to go to, that also should be at 40 degrees. All right? So that's how we use the protractor to measure the angles. Okay? Just remember to take the protractor, the pivot point right there, the perpendicular point, and put that at the vertex. And then line up the 0 degrees to the baseline of that angle, or the ray, and make sure that when you were to extend it out all the way out, it will go to a 0, and then extend that all the way to the notches of the protractor and determine that in fact this is 40 degrees. And that comes to a point where we could discuss, you know that when the degrees is less than 90 degrees, this is called an acute angle. This is called an acute, what? Acute angle. When you get old, brain is the first to go. So we have an acute angle. So let's draw another line then to illustrate the other condition of an angle. So this time let's say right there, there's the base. Okay? And here's my pivot point, or that's going to be my vertex. Line up my protractor to the pivot point vertex of my protractor. And let's make this something bigger than 90 degrees because you know what this is going to be. Let's make that into 10, 20, 30, 40, all the way up to, let's say, 140. Extend that all the way to there. And then there's my notch. So connect that to my vertex. And let's not go all the way over there, it's just over there. See that? So from the base to there, the angle is going to be 140 degrees. And since this is greater than 90 degrees, this is called obtuse angle. So we have an acute at less than 90 degrees, obtuse, which is greater than 90 degrees. Then we come to a final part of this angle measurement where we could draw the base here. See that? Here's the vertex. Line that up to the vertex of the protractor. And then exactly at 90 degrees right there. And since this is 90, this will be 90 degrees. And this is called right angle. So we have three conditions: right, obtuse, and acute. And there's just one more that we don't usually discuss. But what if you were to connect a line, connect a ray exactly to the other side? Well, then the whole distance from the base of this angle to the extended part of the angle, this is 180 degrees total. 180 degrees basically is a straight line, isn't it? So in fact, that's what we call it. This is called a straight. Not straight. S-T-R-A-I-G-H-T. Hooked on phonics. Straight angle. Okay? So we have an acute angle at less than 90. Obtuse angle at greater than 90. We have a right angle when it's exactly 90. And we have a straight angle when it's exactly 180.